Yuni ya está Renny.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
How the heck we doing?
Good, and you?
Good. I'm surprised you guys sat down long enough to, be in the same room together. You're not shuffling boxes, and it's good to take and have you with us.
That was yesterday, Renny. We got 7 pallets.
Yeah, they're great. Well, hopefully lots of double black.
Yeah, it was all PNS.
Yeah, good. We like that. I like that a lot. So it's we're gonna go time. It's time right now. So now I'm gonna jump right into it. Is that when I think of you two, I think of dynamic words. I think of and I know I asked you guys. We kind of sent over little questionnaires. What word describes you guys best? But I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on it. Is what some words that I thought of when I think of the two of you. Tenacity. I think tenacity when I see the both of you is bravery, ethical, determined, systematic, driven, and then I'm going to take and put 2 words together: American dream. I think that you guys are building, not living, building, living the American dream. So before we even introduce you, what's the one word? I gave you guys this challenge. What's the one word that describes the two of you the best?
Well, for me, it's the American dream. For me, it's all to the American dream.
That's cool. For you?
I think it's tenacity.
I think, Carlos, when you look at her, look right at her. Okay? Look at her right now. Look at her.
Look at me.
The word boss.
Yes.
Because I've been around her, and I feel like I work for her when I'm around her for about 5 minutes. Yeah, she's a great motivator, Yuni. So you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick.
My name's Yuni, and I am from Anaheim. I was raised in Anaheim all of my life till about 10 years ago when we moved out here to Corona. So I'm an Orange County girl.
Dude, surf's up, man.
Yeah. And I'm Carlos Garcia. I'm from Mexico, and I came here like 15 years ago, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Mexico too. My parents brought me here when I was little, so
Right.
I actually started kindergarten here.
Wow.
So
Wow.
But I was actually born in Mexico too.
Yeah, it's but I'll tell you, that's what I think it's great about the two of you is to watch you, come up where you've come from and to build your dream. And we're going to get into some really cool stuff. So now, can you see my shirt? Can you guys see it?
My shirt. You match.
Look at that, huh? So tell us a little bit about your business, what your business is and where it's located. And then we're going to jump in, and I got some great questions that are going to lead into that because you guys came into this complete different way, and I can't wait for people to hear your story because I think it's going to motivate a lot of people. You?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, when Carlos first started, we started renting an El Camino truck.
Like,
We
let
didn't
me
own
go
the
back
car.
a little bit.
Yeah, let me go back a little bit.
I started doing business it was my last resource. Okay, everybody pretty much fired me from other jobs because I'm kind of like a slow guy for working. So we rent all El Camino, super beat up, like super bad. All the equipment was from a pawn shop, and that's how we started washing cars. It was hard for us. I know what it is to have $10 in your pocket, $5 in your pocket, and you being worried about being able to give food to your family. It was a really rough time back then.
Do you ever look back at those times though and go, I look back and I wouldn't want to go back there, but now I can look back as I've paved in so many people like you guys have helped pave my road. I look back at those times and I never thought they'd be fond memories, but they were such raw times when it was survival. I mean, it was like almost like me against the elements, me against the world. Do you look back at those times and go, holy shit, wow, I don't want to go back there, but we did it?
For me, going back, when I think about it, it's when I have a problem right now that I think is too hard to fix, I just go back to that times and I'm like, if I did it back then when I was super hard to do it, right now it should be easier for me. Or I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I agree.
Great answer.
It's because now the problems that we have now don't compare to what our problems now is like, call Bob, where's my order? I need it. Now it's more of a, we need merchandise. Before it was like, do we have enough money to buy soap? Do we have enough money?
To feed the family. Do we have enough money to feed the family?
Add water, make it work.
Yeah. To buy Christmas presents for the family or stuff like that. That it's hard. It is hard.
Right. So take me back to day one. So you guys are, Carlos, you said you're out washing cars. And so take us back through those early days and then transition. How the heck did you go from an El Camino to jumping into the supply side of things? So do that bridge for us.
Well, the first thing I have to thank my mom and my dad. My dad always teach me that I need to save money. So even if I make $100, I always try to save money, $20, $30, and we always save money. Mm-hmm. So I start washing cars, and thanks to Yuni, I handle a good accounts in Orange County, taxi companies, and what was the other one?
The one in the hospital.
We wash hospitals.
Yeah, my
ambulance.
background is medical billing, so I used to always work in the medical field. Mm-hmm. So whenever I would work in the, for medical companies, then I would say, hey, you guys want to get your car washed? My husband does that. And they're like, yeah, bring him in. So then before you know it, I would make little flyers and pass them around the whole office, and he would get accounts like that. So then as I would, say leave my job and go find a better job, he would already hold on to those accounts. So it's a lot of networking together. I think because before he didn't, he was so nervous in speaking English. But I think it was something that we did together. I would talk to the customers, and then I would tell them, okay, I'll get the keys for you. And so I think the key to
it's just a good team. We do that a good team.
Yeah.
In the Saturdays back then, she used to be my helper washing cars.
Yeah.
And I used to help her in the medical building. So we always try to help each other.
I worked for St. Jude Hospital, Fullerton, and I worked in the emergency room. I was, the billing manager there. And on the weekends, then we would go and wash the shuttles for the hospital. So I would be in the parking lot washing cars. And I think that's another thing that I notice.
We're not shy.
I'm not shy. I don't care.
No, really? I would have never guessed that about you.
Yeah, I just don't care what people think. So I know some of my friends would say, are you embarrassed that somebody will see you washing the hospital shuttle? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I think you just nailed something that I've been big on. Going way back, and it might have been just me and not other detailers, but it's not. I've talked to a lot of people, is that, I grew up, very humble. Not a lot, right? I've said this 100 million times. And there was a time where detailing, I didn't get out of, I pinned myself down because I was not real proud of what I did. I wasn't ashamed of it, but detailing was looked upon a lot, in movies, TV shows. The detailer, if there was a detailer in it, you were the lowest form of humanity. I think that it's really important to just not give two about what people think about you, because A, they're not going to pay the bills for you.
They don't feed you.
B, you know what? There's a lot of blue collar people out there, especially now in detailing, especially now in other service businesses, that we've done okay. So how did you go from that in the parking lot in an El Camino, washing cars, working Saturdays, doing billing, medical billing together, to all of a sudden now you think, I'm going to start selling products?
Well, we moved to Corona. We bought a house in Corona, and I was traveling to Orange County to get to watch my regular customers, and then we realized that there are no shops around here that sell supplies. That we were wrong though, because it was two stores already, but we didn't know.
Two very strong.
So
stores.
I talked to her and say, hey, we should open a tiny store and sell supplies, and I can buy the supplies for me, and it will be.
Yeah.
In paper was fun, but in reality it was super.
I don't know if I ever told you guys this. When we were up in Sun Valley, Idaho, I kind of got swindled into buying a certain brand, a big brand. I bought into them as a minor, what would be our storefront. So I bought into it, but it was a lot more money. This was in about 2001, somewhere right in there, and I hated it. Matter of fact, and I'm going to tell you that I didn't do good at it at the supply side, because like you guys, nobody was calling on us. No trucks. What I didn't realize was that they were calling on the dealerships, and then as soon as I hung a shingle out and started advertising on selling products, they got real aggressive, and they had all of the relationships built, and I didn't. And I sat on $10,000 worth of product for a long time, and it was kind of my exit strategy out. I came in hard and left silent. I didn't, I used all the products up. But it's a harder game than people imagine. A lot of people want to get into the supply chain. So that first supply chain, was that kind of one of your first big risky moves that you did? Was looking at maybe putting a little storefront up?
It was a risky move, but I think our first risky move was when we changed the person that sell the chemicals for us.
Mm-hmm.
That was I think it was risky. The first year, it was really hard because we realized that we were in the middle of two stores, two huge stores,
manufacturers,
and they tried to close our store like right away. Even one of the guys, I'm not gonna say the name, but he went to my shop and he said like to me, enjoy your 3 months, because I'm gonna close your shop in 3 months.
Wow,
enjoy it.
So what that make you do? What was your response?
Well, just fight. Just keep fighting, man.
I'm gonna tell you what I did. We made flyers.
Well, don't incriminate yourself.
We made flyers.
We didn't kill nobody.
No, we didn't kill anybody. I was so mad.
I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about her.
He told me, because I was actually at the hospital when he called me. He said
she was still working at the hospital.
I was still working. And he said, so-and-so came in the shop and told me this. And I said, oh, really? And to me, Renny, I really like the challenge. I like when people tell us.
We like competition.
I like competition. I've been competitive all my life, not just in business, but since I was little in sports. I'm competitive now with my kids. They play volleyball. But when he told me that guy came to our shop, I said, we have the flyers, right, with our address and everything. And he's like, yeah. I said, I'll be right there. So I told my doctors, hey, you know what? I have something happen. I got to go. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. So, I came home, grabbed a stack of flyers, the box probably, and I started driving around looking for detailers. I just started driving all over Corona. Yeah. I stood outside of that guy's business and I said, really? Now I'm going to chase your customers. I'm going to, so I started passing flyers and I kept telling the detailers, if you give this flyer to somebody and they give me your name, I'll give you free water for a week.
Wow.
Boy, I chased them everywhere. They told me, some guy said, you know what? There's this taco place on 6th Street. All the detailers go there during lunch. Okay. I stood there for 3 hours waiting for every single detailer to go buy their tacos or whatever it is they were going to buy. I didn't care. I just wanted them to have our flyer.
That's tenacity right there, man. That is just drive. That's amazing. I bet that guy now wished he would have shut up and never made that stop.
He goes to my shop like every once and then just to check, and he's still a big guy in the industry.
Yeah.
But he knows now that I'm gonna be there.
Right.
We're not going anywhere.
I absolutely love it. So let's talk about now. So you go into your how many locations have you had for Uber Detail?
2.
Well,
2.
We closed it. We closed the other one and we moved to where we are now.
Right. So you've got that first location that I was at when I first met you guys. And then you had an opportunity to really, and Carlos, I remember this discussion with you like it was yesterday, because it really was, is that you had a chance to go into a new building that was quite different, but a lot more money. And walk us through that decision making, because I think that you handled that. You know, I saw you guys doing something that's amazing. Is you did the reverse math. And Carlos, when you called me that first day when I first heard about it, and you said, "Hey, I got this opportunity," you had all your numbers laid out. You know, you said, "Here's how much more it is. I'm really nervous, but here's what it does. Here's what it's going to take us to pay for it." And I just, you know, here you guys are. First off, you guys have college degrees?
Well, I'm a lawyer in Mexico.
Yeah, I just have my associates.
Gotcha. Just your associates. So here's the deal: is that you guys took your street degrees, you guys took your life experience, and you took good common sense, and you rolled those numbers. So talk to us about, because you know a lot of people listening right now. We got a lot of great questions coming up by the way too, and we'll get to you guys. Is that a lot of people are either looking at expanding? You know, some of them want to get in the supply chain area, and then some people want to expand into bigger shops. So when you took that, you know, you went from number 1 location to a much bigger, much more expensive number 2 location. What were some of the things that you guys were processing?
What was it? What? I'm sorry, Renny?
What were some of the things that you processed? What are some of the things that you thought about? And did anything come up that you didn't count on? I mean, usually you spend a lot more money on renovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, whatever. If you're planning on spending 10 grand, you're probably going to spend 20 grand, right? So what did you talk about when you went and made that? That was a big advancement. That was a big growth strategy. So what things did you discuss during that?
Well, me personally, I just follow what you taught me, that it was dream, vision, plan, and execute. And Yuni and I, we have everything on paper. And we know that it was going to be a hard months. The first one's going to be hard, but it was like we didn't have an option. That was the reality. We was like, we have to move from the other place.
Yeah.
And they pretty much kick us out.
They wouldn't renew our lease because the people next door to us, which is a brewery, that at the time, or they're still there, they really wanted our shop. And
so they start getting about like, oh,
yeah,
I don't like your customers too much.
You had a lot of real problems with them.
Yeah.
And they weren't very nice. They weren't very ethical.
Mm-mm.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
You know, if you guys know a brewery that's in Corona, we're not going to throw their name out there, but don't
Maple Street.
It's on Maple. Don't go there. I'm just kidding.
Don't go there. They said some pretty awful things. So I wouldn't give my business. So the challenge comes up. So now let's walk our way through. How has it worked out? It
was the best decision ever in our lives.
You know what, Renny? When we moved, the building was, I don't know if Carlos told you, it was abandoned for about 3 years.
4, I think.
Yeah, going on 4. And when we opened the door, when we went to go look at it, he opened the door. The spider webs were like a nightmare story. They were from the ceiling all the way to the floor, like curtains. It was scary. Like we literally got a little stick we found outside to kind of like push our way through the webs. And Carlos is like, this looks like shit.
Yeah, it was the biggest.
What are we gonna do?
It was the scariest thing in our life, but now is that after 1 year, it was a really good decision.
Right, absolutely.
It was risky. It was risky because if everything goes wrong,
we got the keys in January, January 15th to be exact. So we had 2 weeks to be out of the other building. The entire shop, water system, everything had to be moved because we had to turn in our keys February 1st to the other place.
Wow.
It was a nightmare. That kind of January, February, and March.
Yeah.
I spent like I remember one Friday, I wake up at 8 a.m. and one Friday, and I go to bed Sunday at 10 p.m.
The things we do.
I didn't even realize that I didn't sleep Friday and Saturday. It was just keep working and keep working and keep working non-stop, and just it was just hard.
You know, in search and rescue, and we adapted this from the Coast Guard, is they use what's called a GAR, and GAR is green, amber, red. So naturally, when everything's green, which in business there's not much. If you're in green constantly, which means is a safe zone, boy, I'll tell you what, you need to get uncomfortable. And then amber is, hey, caution, we got to move ahead. And and then red is, hey, man, there's a lot of risk at this. And so in search and rescue, we determine it's a team vote. We look at a situation right now. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we got a huge storm hitting. Is, hey, what's the risk factor? And everybody rates it. I loved watching you guys go from a GAR of red, where you guys were like, holy shit, we've got this, but it's danger zone red, to, okay, amber, we got some risk. We don't have a lot of choices. We kind of do this, to where you at now. You've taken it into the green, you know, and so much so that you're looking at expansion and everything else. We'll kind of keep that on the low, just in case one of those haters is watching. But you know, I think that I've loved watching it. So now you guys are involved with a lot of small businesses, not just within the auto care industry, but you know, people that supply you, people that sell to you. What's missing? What are most small businesses just, if you had one thing to pick out, what would you like to get into these guys' heads?
You know, for the stores or for the detail guys?
Doesn't matter. Either one.
I think for the stores, everybody right now it's so crazy about social media, but they forgot the social skill of the person-to-person being social.
I agree.
Okay, for us, customer service is everything. We try to have 100% customer service. And I remember something that you told me a long time ago, that I don't want to be McDonald's, man. I don't care if McDonald's number one. I'm totally fine being Chick-fil-A.
That's it.
Yeah. So for us, customer service is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have been real, even from a supply standpoint. Is when I've traveled all over the world, and I've done events at your location, and I've done those same events all over the world, 30 countries. And I want to tell you, your guys' hospitality is special, because not only do you have nice stuff laid out and you've got food, that's not important. The way that you treat people, both of you, your staff, your kids, you've made it a family affair. And you guys, man, you know, it's not about the rewards for you. It's about the relationships. And I think that when you make it about the relationships, the rewards come, and you guys are living proof of that. So well done. Okay. Carlos, we haven't really talked about this a whole lot, but you know, for people that are starting out very meek, or they're starting out with absolutely nothing, and you know, so many people in service businesses, especially the auto care industry, they're starting out because it's cheap entry, you know, to get started. But what wisdom would you like to lay down, both of you, to people that are starting out? You know, I see it all the time, and I saw it with people at I think that's why I get so passionate when I'm with you guys, is these people don't think they deserve to be successful. And I was guilty of that same feeling, still do, to some degree. What would you say to them? What you know, you guys, like I said, you're building your American dream. I don't know if you'll ever stop building that dream. I won't. You know, my dream's never going to stop building until I take that last breath.
Yeah, I agree.
What words would you give those people that are, you know, maybe born with and maybe they don't think they deserve to be successful?
Well, I think the first thing is you have to change your mentality, because we were raised like a poor people, and when you are raised like a poor people, you think that you don't deserve nothing. Okay, and when you have good things in your life, you're like you don't even enjoy it because you think that you don't deserve it. So I think like everything is possible. I know it's hard. I know what it is to have $10 in your wallet. Sometimes you don't have money for lunch. You need to keep going because you already make the biggest risk in your life, which is having your own business. So you just need to keep going. Always try to keep learning from not from YouTube, like from the real detail guys. Never stop learning. I think that's a something that these new people they always forgot. They think that they know everything. Oh, I know how. I used to work in a car wash and I know everything. So when you try to teach these guys something new, they don't want to, and that's the reason they get stuck and the business don't grow up. In my opinion.
I agree. Yuni, you got any input on that one?
I do. I think a lot of the detailers that start, like he said, we have customers that have came who used to wash cars and they used to work at a car wash. And they think the way that a car wash work is the same thing as the detailers work, which is it's not. Different products. It's, more professional products as opposed to like the 5-gallon drums that a car wash gets. It's very different product. But I think one of the biggest things that I tell new people that come in is don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no stupid question. If you don't know how, hey, what do I do for a leather interior?
There's some people that don't know how.
They don't know
about clay bars.
Yeah. People don't know how to clay. And I've asked him, oh, do you wax? Do you need a polisher? He goes, oh no, I don't do that. And it's customers that we've had since we opened the shop that don't clay. And I'm like, dude, it's been 10 years. You don't know how to clay? And I asked him, I said, why don't you know how to clay? I said, why don't you clay? He goes, no, I don't do that. I said, but why?
They always answer like, oh, the customer don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the customer don't want to pay for it. And I'm like, dude, you need to find another customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Things they don't, it goes back to customer service. We go outside and I'm like, you want me to show you how to clay? Let's go outside. I'll show you how to clay.
I always tell detailer or any service provider that says, there's just, my customer that they don't have the money for that. Okay. Well, what does your customer drive? Oh, they got a 2,500 Ram pickup truck. Really? So they've got a $74,000 truck, but they're not willing to pay. Think again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think again. You don't need
and they're not going to buy the product.
Right.
If you dreaming, man, you dreaming, everything is possible. Like the best example is like a guy from Colton is talking with a Mexican guy about business. Like, for me being with you, man, right now, it's like a dream come true. Like,
yeah, I too.
I remember seeing you in YouTube channel in 2008, 2005, and I was like, Jesus, I hope one day I can meet that guy.
And here we are, pals. Broke bread together and everything else. And it's funny because I'm amazed at meeting people because for me, that's what it is. And I've always, again, look what I said about you guys and those that are listening is that for me to meet people, like I just got done with a 5-day training and these 4 individuals just impacted my life. And here they think that I'm here to impact theirs. You guys got it wrong. I'm selfish. I want to change your life, but I want you to change mine. You know what I'm saying? Is that, and when you have that kind of heart and you've got that sincerity, good shit's going to come to you, man. I mean, it might take a while. Be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
And look at your hardships. And, I look at you guys and it's unreal. So let's talk for a second about burnout.
Oh.
Carlos, you and I have had a lot of, and let me go back because I'm going to answer this question for you guys. Yuni, you're going to have to go out on your own a little bit on this one. Carlos came to me a while back and he was going through some pretty serious burnout. And I shared my thoughts. I have gone through it several times, in my career. And we revisit it. And what you got to do is kind of get it evened out. But I watch Carlos. I mean, I watch you on social media doing boxing, martial arts, mountain biking, and I've seen you take and reach out and find different channels for you to take and escape. How burnout is a real thing. And for those, grind, hustle, all these things, it's all sexy and stuff. But the thing that's not talked about in our industry is the damage it does and how it really restrains you from reaching your full potential. So let's go. Talk about it.
Oh, man. The burnout it's really hard to handle. I think the biggest mistake that we do as owners is thinking that nobody can do the things like we do it.
Oh, yeah.
So my first move was to hire the right people so I can start to delegate some kind of work. And each day, like you told me, I try to take a couple of time for me, just for myself. It's doing exercise, go mountain biking, play video games, reading. So I think it's really important that, like you say, 24/7 hustle. It's really nice for the Instagram picture. It's really nice for the social media. But in real life, if you really, really do 24/7 non-stopping, if you have family, you're gonna lose everything. You're gonna lose your family. You're gonna lose your life. You're gonna end like sick. So,
and if you're single and you don't have family, you're going to lose your soul.
Yep. And
you're 34 years old maybe, and you're saying, no, not me. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. There's a famous pinstriper, and I'm not going to mention his name because a family and everything else, but he's now passed away. And at the end of his life is that he was so into what he did in his art that they'd have to find him stuff to pinstripe. They bring it in front of him when he would do it nonstop every day because he had conditioned himself. And at the end of his life, he really didn't get to enjoy life because I think the mental breakdown from pushing himself for so long, for so hard through the 60s and 70s when pinstriping was huge, 50s, I think it fried his brain. And I think there's a lot of people that you're frying your brain. You don't really. I mean, honestly, hand up. Carlos, you and I have had intimate conversations about the damage that it does. And guess what, guys, gals, for the most part, you ain't getting that damage ain't getting fixed.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that much of the money. The money is going to come in time.
Yeah.
You need to enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. You need to enjoy it.
And here's the deal. Don't be afraid. Stop. Don't be ashamed. Chase that damn money. But chase that damn money if you're an entrepreneur. And it cracks me up because I had somebody in social media reach out to me on Facebook just in the last couple of days. And, I get about 50 or 60 pick your brain questions. And I love helping people out. I really do. But I kind of came back at a person a couple of days ago and I said, hey, here's what I want you to do. Send me these questions via email. Well, why can't you just answer them right now? I said, well, because I'm busy and I've got a lot of things going on and I want to help you. But put your top 3 questions out and, I'll put them out to maybe what I'll do is bring them on a podcast. The next answer was, well, I don't have time to listen to podcasts. I just need answers. And I said, well, if you don't have time if you're asking me a question and you need help, and if you can't listen to the answer on one of the podcasts, dude, you need to wake up because life's going to be really, and he basically told me to F off. Yeah. Right then and there. And so, respect other people's time, but most importantly, inspect your own. So with that, Carlos, I'm going to ask you a hard question. This wasn't on the pre-questions. Yuni, both of you, hard question. How are you doing at handling the stress now? On a scale of 1 to 10, Carlos, you were pegged to 10 a couple times.
I want to tell you that I remember that conversation with you and the Dennis long time ago.
Yeah.
And you told me something really important that sometimes you have to own it. When you do something bad, just own it. Just say, I'm sorry, thank you. Sorry for yelling, or sorry for this. And for me personally, I was trying to separate Yuni, the person from work, that Yuni, my wife, and the mom of my children. So when we are at home, we try to like you told me, don't try to talk about business after 7 or 6 p.m. You know, business done. Let's start doing it tomorrow. And I think we handle it really good. Like right
Good.
now, we're really good. We're really good.
I love that. I love hearing it.
When I do something that I think that's very important is to learn to accept that, accept what you did wrong and tell each other, you know what? I know you've been waiting for, I don't know, you've been waiting for the price list for me to work on the price list for our wholesale accounts, and I haven't done it. I'm sorry, and I do tell them, I'm sorry. And I try to figure out an excuse, and then I tell them, I'm not going to give you an excuse. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was thanks to you, man.
And it's not, don't keep, because I'm busy, because I take the girls to volleyball and I'm busy and I have to go home and take care of the house. No, because there's always time that I can sit down and do his list. I just didn't want to do it. I'm not going to lie. But I think owning that you didn't do it, your responsibility, or when he drops the ball on something like, oh, you know what, I forgot to do this. But I think owning what you did wrong and telling each other, oh, you know what, sorry, or just owning what you did wrong. And I think that's when I see customers that we go see, Renny, they're like, how can you guys work together? I can't stand my husband. And
right.
You are with each other 24/7. And I said, and then when I'm not with him and I'm at the store,
we used to go to the gym together too.
I'm calling him like, hey, what do you think about this? So if you can't stand the husband you're with and you guys have a business together, most likely it's not going to work out.
Well, and let me tell you, that's a great idea. Just is family businesses are awesome. It's also very tough, and you've got to have parameters set up. And it's destroyed. It's probably destroyed as many relationships as it has built, because people, one party or the other party or both parties don't treat it right. As simple as that. So now it's going to something that's more positive. What's your guys' big? And I'm not talking business dream. What's your big dream? What's the vision that you've got? Looking out there that you'd really like to do.
For me, professionally, one of my dreams, it will be go with you to the Air Force One project. That will be like a guy from Mexico with an old El Camino who buy all the equipment from a pawn shop.
Yeah.
Doing the Air Force One, it will be like a dream. But like a personally dream, me, I just want to be able to see my kids growing up. I don't want to miss not any moment. I don't want a Ferrari. I don't want that. I just want to be able to watch my kids every day, eat with them, and just watch them be grown-ups.
That's cool. I like it.
Yuni? Him saying that, I'm going to go back a little bit to our business. One rule we made, Renny, since day one, and that's something that we get asked a lot. Why don't you guys open on Sundays? Till this day, they ask us every day, why are you guys not open on Sundays? Do you think we don't work? So then I reply, do you think I don't have a family?
Right.
We all need a day off. So since day one that we opened the shop on Maple and Corona, we decided that Sundays, even if it made us richer, we were not going to open because we needed to dedicate a day to our family.
Something that changed my life was when I turned 30 years old. I was barely, the shop was barely open. And some guy told me, you need to open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah. And I was following that rule. And so I spent my 30 birthday working from 7 to 9 p.m. I came to my house. My kids were barely almost sleeping with a small cake. They sing happy birthday to me. And I was feeling so sad, man, like super sad, like almost at the point to cry, because I don't want this kind of life. So that day I changed my life. I said, I'm not gonna be dead trying to build this business. I'm gonna keep working hard. I'm gonna do the best that I can, but I want to enjoy life too. And that was a really sad day for me. And I always talk about it.
I have unfortunately several stories like that of just being, I look back at opportunity of being away. I spent my 40th birthday on the road. I spent my 52nd birthday on the road. I spent my 44th birthday, somewhere. Now my 52nd, I was in, 53rd birthday, I was in Paris, France, drinking wine and eating in Paris. That one I don't regret, because that was a pretty cool trip. But I've got a lot of times where, hey, coming from here, is that bragging rights? Absolutely. Did I just flex? Yeah. I'm a freaking detailer that got hired on to go speak in France. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You guys are a small couple that started a store with huge competition. And you know what? You should be damn proud of yourselves. It's amazing what you've done. I mean, absolutely amazing. In one of the most competitive markets in the world for detailing products, and you guys stood up and made it happen. You know what? You should be patting yourself on the back, you guys you stay humble when you need it. So you guys interact with a lot of young business detailers. Name a couple things that they need to really concentrate on. Just bullet point it out. What are they missing?
I think that the first thing is, like you say, they don't take detailing serious.
Mm-hmm.
They sometimes they feel ashamed that, oh well, I'm a detail guy. Like, they don't realize that you can make huge bucks in this business. And when I always talk to these guys, I always give you an example. Renny he's huge. He's a blue collar millionaire, and you can be too. But they don't really.
Yeah. It's kind of like they don't believe us.
They don't believe it
because they're young, I think.
And the second one is that they don't want to learn. They just watch videos of the cool guys and in YouTube, and I saw a video, and if I use this spray, I don't have to use compound, I don't have to use polish, I don't have to use, everything is in this spray: compound, polish, ceramic coating, sealant.
That's it.
And they need to learn from the old people, like from the people that they already took the road.
Yeah, last night it was funny because I was walking across the street from my neighbors, and I walked across the street and it's snowing, and as I was coming back, I was my tracks were laid down, and it made me think about how many in search and rescue and mountaineering, we've got a saying when it snows, is that who's cutting the trail. So when you're going up a trail and there's really deep snow and you're on snowshoes, is that first person has got to be a pretty strong person, because they're laying tracks down for the rest of the team. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And each person coming up has got a little easier job because the snow gets compacted before you. And I just pulled my camera out and I said, hey, are you cutting your own tracks, or whose footsteps are you following? At this stage, so many people, and I find this with people that grew up like many of us did, like I did, without a lot, is that we want to cut our own trail. The trail's cut. The trail's cut. Your own personal trail, you just got to go figure that out. But the snow's compacted down.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to do it the hard way. And I think you guys see that more and more evident, and it's in your face daily.
Even with the storefronts. With the storefronts, we have the same thing. They just, it's hard.
It is.
They don't want to learn. They how you want to sell something if you don't know how to use it? It's like a basic thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then let's go to this. Is that what do you love most about the detailing industry?
Detail industry give me everything that I have right now. Everything. My house, my family, every food that I put on my table is thanks to this industry. I was pretty much like a people call like a black sheep in my family. It was like the rebel guy, the guy that always say no, always rebel. And with industry, I find people like you, like Kyle, like Bob, like Chris West, people that they're really humble. When I met you when I meet you and I meet Bob, for me it was like how these people can be so humble if they're pretty much rich.
Yeah.
And it was just like a game changer for me, I guess. And I guess I owe everything to this industry.
Well said. You know, it's because I can't speak for Bob, but I can. It's because we've earned every single penny, and we've realized that the most important element of earning is the relationships around you, and having good people that you jive with around you. And then also, it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey, is that you've got to turn around and help other people within theirs. And you're ahead of somebody. You know, growing up, I really thought that I had it the worst of the worst. I thought I was a gutter kid, you know, and turning back around as I got into my 20s, I realized, whoa, no, even people I grew up with, I just didn't have my eyes open to it. You know, yeah, they had dads, but their dads were alcoholics or drug abusers or led gangs, were in prison. That there's major addiction around them. There was, they didn't, we had a house with a roof over our head. It might not have been, ideal. There was roaches and we didn't have a lot. And it was cold during the wintertime. Sometimes it was hot during the summertime, but we had a roof over our head. There's kids that I grew up with that were in foster care. Business is the same way, is that 2 weeks into your journey, you're 2 weeks ahead of somebody else that's just coming in. And that little bit of knowledge, and I'll never forget this, you're getting ready, Carlos, to come to a 5-day training here shortly, and get into a group that, we the Detail Mafia, love or hate us. There's no theory in our group, is unless we're forging into something new, and then it doesn't take us time because we do it in such large numbers. Everything's proven that we talk about. And we've got people that are running multi-million-dollar operations down to guys that just want to bring a 6-figure income in with them by themselves. And so we're able to share a lot of great, solid information. There's a lot of, let me tell you, outside of our group, that's the thing, is we've got so many great friends inside of our group that are outside of our group, and there's a lot of successful people in this industry. And it's when it comes down to it, it's all about, connections, relationships, and churning around, helping each other out. And you guys have done a fine job of that. And to see you interact with the detailers and the storefronts, you're a valuable part. P&S, let's talk about that for a second, is that, when did you first engage with P&S?
He was a detail guy, a really good detail guy, Mitchell. One day he bring me like a tiny bottle of Beef Maker. I was like, dude, I tried this thing. It's amazing. You should bring it. And I was, really? And I talked to Yuni and, let's call this company and let's see if they want to sell to us. And they did. They did sell to us, and it's an amazing ride with P&S, man. It's an amazing company. It's just,
well, the Phillies did.
Bob and David, they're like
good guys.
Yeah,
they're good guys. And the journey's been great, and I love to see that you guys bring on. You got a lot of product lines in your arsenal, and you're really about customer service and giving the people that come to your store what they want. You're about quality. I'll tell you, people that are in SoCal, is they've invested so heavily into their education. So when people walk in their door, they know what the hell they're talking about. They know the products, they know the bullshit, and it's really been rewarding to see you guys grow. Probably more so to see you guys grow on a personal level, and to see your kids, and to see the two of you, meshing and working together, and owning stuff. What I just saw between the two of you today was amazing. Carlos, we're gonna open this up to some questions. Yes. Carlos, though, I'm gonna take in Yuni. I think that you're responsible for a lot of this. Carlos, your self-awareness and your communications have changed so dramatically in the short time I've known you. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think that, I know you're something very concerned with a lot of people are that are immigrants is your English. Brother, you speak better English than I do.
It was really hard learning English, man. It was hard for me. I went to school for almost 1 year, and it's just I'm just a shy guy. I'm just when you know me like in time,
yeah,
I'm cool. But the first time, I'm really shy.
Yeah, I'd never guess it. And Yuni, I think this is a good example.
She's really shy too.
Is that I think Yuni, I think you've really pushed your husband forward, and I think that you've driven him to become a better man. And then Carlos, I think you've rewarded your wife by recognizing how brilliant she is, and I think it takes that, you guys, don't you? I think it takes us all pushing each other forward.
Yeah, because I remember when he started doing the videos, he's like, "You do them." I'm like, "No, you do them. You sound fine. There's nothing wrong with the way you said it. It's perfect. They understand what you're saying."
Amen.
And he's like, "Let me do the ones in Spanish," and I said, "You can do them in English too." I said, "You can do it." And I think it's very important that as his wife and as his best friend, we push each other and say, "You can do it." Don't feel like, okay, I'll do the English, you do the Spanish. No, because I think he can do it, and he's doing a fine job. When customers come in, when they speak English, he doesn't say, "Here, you need to go take care of them." I go talk to him. And he's the one that, pretty much when we're at the shop, he's handling them because I'm doing other things. But I think he underestimates himself, I think.
Yeah, is the detail. We got a lot of great questions. Chris, you're probably seeing it better than I do. Well, Aaron just popped up one. Is the detailing market, is it busier now during the pandemic than it was before?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was super busy.
Super busy. When we first moved into the shop in January, we got the keys on the 15th, and then we were supposed to have our grand opening
in March,
right? With you, and Bob was supposed to come down. I mean, I had all the vendors lined up who was coming, and then boom, the pandemic hit, and I was really scared. I thought, we're going to lose our house. We're going to lose our business. We just moved into this building.
Everybody was shutting down, and they were like,
we're like, oh my God, we're going to lose everything. But
something? I'm not scared of losing everything. I'm pretty sure that I can do it again. I always talk to Yuni about that. Yuni and I, we're not scared about losing everything, man, because as soon as I have Yuni at my side, and we can start everything again. That's the way that we see it.
And what, with that said, let me just say something really quick. We have several of our customers, one which he's a really good friend of ours, Drips. He had his stuff stolen twice, not even once, twice. His gear, his equipment. This last time they stole everything out of his trailer. I mean, I think they even took the trailer. I can't remember. But he started with, again, from zero.
We help the guy.
Yeah, of course. We
always try to help people like that.
So whenever somebody gets their stuff stolen, we try to help them out and be like, okay, come here.
I always tell, don't post it on social media. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Carlos and Uber. This is just on a personal level.
That's kind of people you guys are. So
yeah.
William,
sorry. With this guy, he had all of his stuff stolen, Renny, but his customers are still there. So with his business, even though he had nothing, he had all his stuff, his gear stolen. His customers were like, "Can you still come over and do our boats?" Because he does boats. Mm-hmm. They didn't care that he didn't have equipment. They just wanted him. So it comes down to, if you lose your business, if we were to lose the shop, the relationships that we built with the people, the vendors, with you, with Bob, with our customers, even if we started at zero and lost everything, we would be able to get back on our feet very quickly because of the relationships we built. So that's very important for me.
Huge. So William, Laura, I'm going to answer this, and you guys give your 2 cents. Anybody thinking about getting into the supply game, what would you recommend? I'm going to say start out small. Storefront program is that, a lot of detailers, and I was one of them. I started this off saying that I jumped into the supply side of it, and my eyes were wide shut. They weren't even open. And I think that you need to start out small and build up your demand and start educating people in your market and go after. I mean, the pros are great. Pro detailers are great. But I'll tell you where the money lies, and really where our storefront is aimed at, is going after the enthusiast. Yeah. What would you guys add to that?
I guess, yeah, you're pretty much right. You can start small and just know your product before selling.
I interrupt you real quick because Ron Masters asked a similar question that you guys could answer along with it. How long does it take to develop the market for the supply side of the business, and how do you do that? So you're talking about starting small. So that's one way to develop that and get started.
I think it depends on each individual person, is that if you really get engaged in the community, Yuni went out to the lunch spot and was handing flyers out to the detailers because she found out it was a hot spot for detailers to go for lunch. It's gonna, if you're gonna use that level of tenacity, it's gonna be a shorter ramp up. If you get really involved in our Park and Shine program that we've got with PNS, if you get involved and you go to Coffee and Cars, it's going to depend on your engagement level. If you open shop up and you start putting some social media posts out there and that's all you do, it's going to be a real slow growth, real slow. But if you go out there and you get involved in the car community and you start putting the word out there that you're going, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys throw yours out, but I really think it's 2-3 years to really get it to where it's really starting to get some wheels on its own. And
it's like 2-3 years.
The first year is definitely the hardest.
It takes time. You need to be patient, and like you say, maybe you need to have another kind of like a side job.
Yeah.
Because if you want to quit your job and open a supply like a store, it's gonna be hard for you.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It depends on your market too. What else is out there competitive? What's the ceiling?
And you need to be careful where you open the store, because you don't want to be close to one of the, like us. You don't want to be close to us and open a tiny shop. It's going to be more hard. So yeah. You need to be aware of the location, the product that you're going to sell. You don't want to be the cheapest guy that just sell water with color and fragrance. So you need to have a good quality products too. So it's just like a different, like, I guess it's just like.
It depends where you're going to open your shop, but I would definitely look to see, where you're going to open and what stores are already there. You're like, okay, am I going to be able to compete with these guys? Because they're pretty big. Or you know what, that little store doesn't do much. Maybe I can put a store a couple miles away and people will come to me.
I think it's good. I think it's good advice. Chris, what else? We're going to wrap it up. We're going to try to.
Yeah. So Jessica Rook asked a good question. I don't think she fully understands the way your guys' business is set up, because she asked, regarding the storefront, distribution, and then detailing, what do you see as being your primary profit center, and how do you keep that balance going? But I know that Carlos. Real quick, I know you're coming to training soon, and you guys don't have a detail shop. You're not technically detailers, but you're coming to training soon. So how is that going to integrate into your business, and how are you going to keep that balance?
Well, I'm going to train because I just want to be a better. I just want to give better customer service to my guys. Okay, so the way that I see it is if I learn more, I can sell more. But we forgot to say something too. We have two businesses. One is called Uber Detail, and that business opened the doors in 2010. The other business is called SoCal Wholesale, and we bought that business in 2014. So we have two different businesses. One is just completely wholesale, and the other one is just retail.
I love it. Another question is I love this, is how do you show customers that your product performs better than the competitors' products?
Oh, that's super easy, man. You just grab the bottle and say, this name is Renny Doyle.
No, not do that.
No, for real. Yuni,
I've said it before. Is I didn't want my name on the bottle. I fought that.
Is the best. Turn the bottle around. You see this guy do the Air Force One. If this bottle has Renny's name, it's because it's good.
Yeah.
Better than anyone.
Well, thank you. But I'm gonna give an answer that's not so pointed. Is Aaron? You let your customers. You got to develop a good product, and then third-party validation. Is it really that good? And if it is get the people that are buying it talking about it. That's the key. Is if it's a good product, people are going to talk about it. We get constantly where then there's haters out there, and there's some people that not everybody's going to like your product. So you got to make sure to try to redirect when people try to take and kind of slam your product or do something, say some things that maybe aren't completely true. Is with professionalism is answer those questions and correct those misstatements, but basically have other people talking about your product. Get them talking on their own and get it out there to people. And it's not easy, especially you got to remember when Double Black launched, P&S was a 56-year-old company. And so, I'd love to say Renny Doyle, Carlos, that my name made it. It was Dave behind the scenes, that our chemist, that made great products. And we just, Dave, Bob and I always talk about, man, why couldn't we gotten together 20 years ago? The answer is none of us were ready for it. We weren't mature enough. We didn't have enough money to adequately get it started. Our paths hadn't gone down certain ways to where we knew that it was all about people. And so we would have, and then another thing is that, 2008 was a different time frame, had we come together, 10, 12, 15, 20 years ago, it just wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have happened. So, it's also with your product is have a gift of show gratitude for every person that buys a bottle. Is that anytime I see somebody using it, I try to give them a high five or a thank you or something, because man, I just never ever dreamed that, kid from Colton, you guys don't live far from where I grew up. I never dreamed growing up that I'd have my name on anything, maybe a factory time card, punching in and out. I mean, that's really the only thing I thought I had my name on, was going to have and then as I started getting older and I started hanging around with, 13, 14 years old, is that I started seeing that I did have there was hope out there, in that, that my, and I want to send this out to people listening. My current condition, situation when I was younger didn't mean I always had to be there. It was okay to get out of your current situation. And it was okay to envision that situation. And not only did I did it in a minor way, I want anybody that's listening to do it in a major way. You are going to get out of your situation, and you're going to do it quickly. You're not going to wait years to get out of it. And I can guarantee you this, is that how do you get into the supply chain? Is you get in. You get in small and you pull the trigger and you go for it. Because if you sit on the sidelines, you ain't going nowhere. There it is.
Make a plan, though. Make a plan, like you say.
Yeah.
Plan.
Absolutely. You guys, Carlos, when you guys went to go into your new facility, we talked several times. And I know you guys really looked at it hard, and you guys had plans and you knew the numbers. You knew the backside of it. That's what more people need to do, is they need to go in and they need to know the facts. And a lot of people don't. Okay, so this is a great one, is that, a lot of people, as immigrants, is that some people, especially where you're at, and Ricardo says, hey, buddy, Some people will push you into being the cheapest. Is Ricardo, you let that sexy accent and you put on a performance, your gear, and you look the part. Is that, listen, you might be an MR2 on the frame, but the body's a Ferrari. And you sell quality and you interact with people and you let them see your personality and how wonderful you are, and you treat people with a smile, you say please and thank you, and you're not cheaper than anybody else. The going cheap is a race to the bottom. If you're listening to me right now and you're not the most expensive detailer in town, or if you're not matched with the most expensive detailer in town, you're leaving money on the table. Straight up. Carlos, Yuni, let's wrap it up.
We see that a lot.
We do.
Coming in.
Even in the stores.
Yeah, there's some kind of stuff going on TV today or something, I heard. I think everybody wants to go watch.
So, hey, how do people reach you?
How do they reach us?
Yeah.
Through social media, through social media, they send us messages on Instagram, and we always reply.
Okay, so
Carlos always tells me.
YouTube, how do they find you?
Do they what?
How do they find you on Instagram and YouTube? What's your?
It's Uber Detail USA.
Okay, perfect.
Instagram. And on Facebook, it's just Uber Detail.
How about a website?
We're working on a website.
We're working on the website now.
You gotta get that done. Get off there and work on that right now. So, hey guys, I think these guys are an example of what we can do and what the possibilities are. Dream big, go hard, start small, as they did, but go make it happen, man. You guys, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for not just the business, you guys. More importantly, thank you for the friendship. I wish we got a lot of questions, but we're going to respect everybody's time. And hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, God bless America. Don't let people divide us. Just don't. It's a time to come together, and no matter what and remember, our politicians are not our leaders. They're our representatives. And if they don't represent us in the right light, we need to speak that out. But don't take it out on each other. It's just not worth it. Don't separate us as a country because of some idiots in Washington, D.C. on how they're treating things, or even at local government. Is that we all know the value of each other, and we love this country and what it represents. And we, the people, are what it represents, not some idiots that are making decisions for us. So go out and love each other, and God bless you guys. Thanks for the friendship. This was fun, and I'm sure we'll see. Well, Carlos, we're going to see you really soon.
Yes. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you, man.
You got it, guys. Hey, take care, okay? We'll see you later.
All right, thanks, Renny.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you, Chris.